Welcome to the Tevora Talks Infosec podcast and daily news, brought to you by Tevora. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tevora Talks Weekly Infosec News. I'm your host, Cash, and as always, joined by my co-host and partner in cybercrime, Matt Mosley. What up, Matt? How's it going?
Not much, just living the dream.
As always, man. Dream is like, we're kind of like stuck in this dream / alternative reality nowadays with this situation. But I don't know, I guess like hackers don't let up, and Infosec News is still out there. But, you know, we got some interesting events this week.
Job security.
Yeah, job security. And, you know, with that, a lot of weird stuff's happening, as always. Small Business Administration, you know, they're giving out loans to businesses. They had a data breach. How it happened, though, is actually interesting. I'll get to it. NFL draft is coming up. But this year, because of COVID, they're actually doing a virtual draft. So that's also interesting. And since everybody's kind of work from home and no one's leaving their houses, streaming is really through the roof. So Netflix and Disney Plus are actually a big target right now for hackers. And I'll kind of go into what they're trying to do. And to wrap it up,
I'll kill a mofo that takes away my Netflix.
I know, man. Don't take away our streaming. It's like,
my mom posted a thing telling me that frozen pizzas were becoming scarce now. And I was like, no.
Costco still has them. 4-pack for $12. But yeah, let's kind of go into it. So Small Business Administration, you know how they're providing the bailout loans, right? And apparently they had a breach, but not by hackers. They had a data breach. It was their own fault from what I read. And check this out. So you would go into the site, okay, to enter in some of your information. And then if you happen to click the back button, it would kind of go back to the same form, but then you would have access to some other person's form. So it was some kind of wrong.
That's cool.
Yeah, query request mistake on their website. So
I feel like in it's been a while since I had my web development days. But I feel like you'd have to go out of your way to program something that bad.
That's a big programming error.
Like, I don't even understand how that would work.
I mean, I couldn't tell. It's like, I don't know, it links it to the wrong database all of a sudden, and it pulls the wrong record when you...
Yeah, like the back button is just doing current record -1. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how you would, whatever. That's fine.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a pseudo-random generator, and it's pulling a record to the wrong. And nonetheless, some pointer is pointing to the wrong place.
It's just one of those.
I understand nothing.
Yeah, straight up. I understand nothing. And I guess they had to issue out statements to tons of different users and say, hey, you know, your information has been, you know, unfortunately leaked. And you can imagine that the information being inputted on that site is not just like your first name and last name, right? It's like your first name, last name, bank information, business records.
You know for sure it had bank information because they had to put the monies over.
Yeah, like employer ID numbers and employer identification number. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to get.
Which, if you're a small business, which this is the Small Business Administration, most people before they get big, or at least if they don't even properly set up like LLC or whatever, the EIN, the employment identification number, is usually your personal social security number.
Yeah, pretty much.
At least from what I know. Like, I worked for Tevora, so clearly I'm not an entrepreneur, but at least from what I think I know about business.
No, I mean, yeah, you have a couple ways of going about it. Either you use your social, or you can, you know, apply to get a unique EIN, right? But nonetheless,
yeah,
it's like the identity of your business. So you can still use that EIN to get credit, right? You can use that same number, apply for credit under the business. So nonetheless, that's a big, I think it's a pretty bad data breach. They have claimed, however, that they've fixed the error. So fortunately, they did do it. But nonetheless, you know, data got out at their own fault. Which, yeah, big.
Sorry.
So yeah, I haven't seen that one before.
No, I don't. I'm trying to think of like other things from the past that remind me, and I can't think of anything like that. I do know, like, I want to say 2008, maybe 9-ish. The Australian tax board, or whatever they're called there, it's like their IRS. You could enumerate social security numbers on their website, or whatever their Australian identification numbers are. And you could go through people's tax forms just by sequentially enumerating the numbers on the website. So that was cool. Yep.
But yeah, sorry to say, apparently about 7,900 owners had their information exposed.
How many?
7,913 to be exact.
I thought you said 700 at first. I was like, well, that's not that bad.
No.
We're close to 8,000. Yeah.
Yeah, close to 8,000. But, of course, as any of these people do, any of these companies that get their data breached, they're offering them a free year of credit monitoring. Woohoo,
so
right?
I always wonder about that, because that seems to be like kind of the standard, right? It's like, yeah, sorry, we effed up. We gave away your stuff, but here's credit monitoring for a year. And your social security number doesn't change after 1 year, right? Like your identity doesn't change after a year. So what happens after that? Do you have to now continue monitoring? And you should anyways, right? Because that's the age that we live in. But for some people that, don't have extra money to spend on credit monitoring, what do those people do? They just let the monitoring expire, and then now the attackers can do whatever they want with their identity. And
Mm-hmm.
these attackers wait. We've seen that in the past, that they wait to use this information.
Well,
it's just unfortunate,
Hopefully no attacker found this out and it was actually legitimate business owners that they just went back and they're like, hey, what is this? This is not my info. And none of them have used that information for malicious intent, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's the silver lining in it, where it's not done by a hacker group. It was just literally a glitch in their website coding, and I guess they fixed it. They took the site down for maintenance, and I guess for a little bit of time, no one could apply for the loan. So I'm sure that aggravated some home business owners. But I guess with that said, it's in the past and just an unfortunate event. So people out there, if you have a website, make sure you test it before you launch it, and it doesn't do anything weird.
Yeah, web application pen testing does wonders.
And we have a great team here at Tevora that can help you out with that. So,
yes, small plug. No,
small plug.
I do wish that America, as a country, and not trying to get political here or anything, but I do wish we would take our data more serious, or at least have more, I guess, harsher punishments for these companies that seem to not protect my information or my data. Like you see it big in the European Union, especially with GDPR and stuff like that. I don't know why we don't have those same kind of things, but it would be nice. It'd be nice to know that, some company messed up on my behalf and they're actually getting reprimanded from it instead of just a slap on the wrist. Meanwhile, if I was to go and lose someone's information, I'd probably get sued and lose my house, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess like some people, depending on the data that was breached, they do get penalized a lot, right? Some companies have been penalized $1 billion plus in the past, but I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on like the regulatory bodies that oversee them. I don't know who SBA has to report up to as far as data, but I mean, if it's related to PCI or HIPAA, then yeah, there's some fines, but I don't know. I don't know outside of that. So
hopefully it prevails and no one got any actual attack on them personally and everything's safe, because last thing a crumbling business needs that is applying for a bailout loan is to get attacked and identity theft on top of all that. So that'd be pretty terrible, I think. But I don't know, to lighten the mood, let's go to the NFL. Hey, the draft is coming up.
Nice. Sports is coming back.
Sports is coming back, kind of. Sort of. And the draft is actually a really big deal every year, right? I mean, I love watching the draft. I don't know if you ever watch it, but
I don't.
It's a fun thing.
I love sports. I'm not into the sports that much.
But no, like the draft is actually a pretty exciting time because, you're kind of watching these, young players um, and a very big moment in their lives. It's a very emotional moment for a lot of them, and their families are around. And the NFL usually has a very big event that they do for the draft, and a lot of people are remote for the draft in general. But
I've seen Draft Day, so I'm pretty much an expert on it.
Yeah, so
no, that's a great movie, by the way. Though, if you ever get a chance to check it out,
Draft Day. Check it out. Check it out. But I mean, I guess it's like a similar concept, right? But this year it's way different because of COVID, they can't really do a big event. And so what is happening though is the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, is going to be announcing the picks from the basement of his house.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure it's a really nice basement.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not like, with a furnace in the corner and no, brick walls and whatnot. But nonetheless, he's going to be at home doing it over streaming chat. And a group of, I guess they reported 58 players are expected to make the cut in the first 2 rounds. They're going to be live streaming from their homes also. So the public has the ability to still view the players' responses, their reactions, and that whole emotional part of the draft, which is cool.
That's funny.
But check this out. So what are they using? I'll tell you this. They're not using Zoom. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not using Zoom.
That's interesting.
Their NFL is actually going to be using a modified version of Microsoft Teams.
That makes sense. I know Microsoft's a huge sponsor of the NFL. That's why.
So then, yeah, maybe I guess it's supposed to be secure, but then they are obviously doing a test run today to make sure they find any security leaks if there are any. So
that's cool. Yeah, I know NFL. I know Microsoft sponsors the NFL big time because they did the Surface. They gave like everybody Microsoft Surfaces, and they I think it was like 1 or 2 years ago, maybe longer, but they actually had to release a statement to the NFL to stop calling them iPads because they obviously did it for marketing reasons, is to get their name out there and stuff like that. But the announcers and stuff, like whenever they do the in-game commentary and stuff, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, right here on the iPad," and then which defeated the whole point, So that was kind of funny. But yeah, that's cool. I'm sure. It is pretty cool. I'm sure Microsoft's going to do their due diligence. I think most companies with a spotlight like that on them are probably going to do their due diligence. Unfortunately, as we all know, like security flaws are just.
Oh, they're there. And especially Microsoft.
They're there. And I can do a pen test and not find something. And then someone else can do the same pen test and find something else.
Of course.
It's tough. So,
but I guess that's why they're doing the dry run today. They're doing the test run. Because like you said, there are going to be in the public eye. I mean, imagine Microsoft Teams is going to be broadcasted essentially to millions of people that are going to be watching this draft from their homes. And I'm sure it's going to be a spotlight, right? They're going to get a little plug that says, hey, NFL is using Microsoft Teams, which is kind of a hit to Zoom right now. I'm sure on a marketing standpoint, but it's interesting. So I was reading the same article, and apparently NFL is okay with some of the clubs using Zoom for communications within themselves internally, but they are not allowed to use Zoom for club to club or any communications with the league office directly. So sorry,
that's
Zoom.
Strange. Like a weird precedent. Like it's okay for you to use within your team, which is still kind of, if there are security flaws, was going to be a problem for your team. But you can't use it between the different clubs, and definitely don't call us.
Yeah, don't call us. Like if you guys go crash and burn, that's on you, but don't take us down with you. I don't know.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. But hey, nonetheless, looking forward to it. I like the NFL. Hopefully after the draft and this whole thing goes away, we can actually start watching some football again.
So if because I mean, they can't invite everybody into it, right?
No, they can't.
Yeah, so they have to kind of do it in waves.
No, they're only apparently from what I'm understanding. So 58 of the players that are for sure going to make the cut in the first 2 rounds, they're going to be on the live stream.
Right. So the 58 that are in the first 2 rounds, but what happens after the first 2 rounds?
I guess after the first
That's
2 rounds,
new wave, right?
No, they're not. I don't think they're going to pop anybody else on the stream from what it sounds like.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
going to be the commissioner just announcing who got picked.
Yeah, because I was like, I mean, if you have these like groups, then you obviously there's not really a whole lot of speculation. I mean, because I know there's people that like gamble on who's going to go to which team and stuff like that. That would I wonder if anybody's going to be trying to use that information to try and get an edge. Because like, oh well, we've got these 58 names. It's got to be one of these people in the first 2 rounds,
Oh,
kind of thing. I don't know.
maybe
Just
that's a
curious.
big deal. Interesting. I didn't think about that. Maybe that's why they're trying to make sure the security is perfect, I guess, around it.
Maybe.
Because
I don't know.
imagine if somebody breaches that. I mean, I don't know.
They do all kinds of crazy bets in Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas is whatever happens in Vegas.
I know. I can't wait
Stays
for
in
Vegas to
Vegas.
open up so I can go back.
But what else is happening? So the NFL is happening. Stay tuned. The draft is coming. They're doing the test run today. Hopefully that goes well because I definitely want to watch the draft. But another big thing, like everybody's at home nowadays, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much stuff to do at home to entertain yourself. A big thing is streaming, right? Netflix. I think everybody is on Netflix.
16 million new customers, I think,
That's
last week
crazy.
or last quarter or something.
And Disney Plus. I mean, Disney Plus is big. And I read that they actually doubled their user base.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is a lot. And dude, hackers are taking advantage of this. And how are they doing it? They're not trying to attack Netflix or Disney Plus, but what they're doing is actually even like I say one level shadier because at least okay, they're letting us watch our TV because if they hack it, I guess they go down themselves too. So maybe for those reasons they're not hacking Disney or Netflix directly, but they're building fake sites that look like it's a Disney site or look like it's a Netflix site. They have email phishing campaigns going that says, they're promoting fake offers like, 3 months free or sign up now for 50% off, whatever. And what's the point? They're trying to capture credit card data and user info.
Right.
So these
Of course.
unsuspecting users click on it, and that's a big situation too. So I don't know exactly what they are trying to do. I heard that they're just trying to fish out all these fake sites, and ISPs are trying to ban them, and Google and whatnot are trying to restrict the flow of users going to these kind of sites somehow.
Yeah.
But
It
man.
really comes down to educating people. And unfortunately, I guess it's like a battle that never stops. I mean, we do security awareness training and it doesn't, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, like, because it does, but it's like chipping away at a bigger problem slowly. It's like a war of attrition. But anyways, yeah, it's really just educating people. Like, don't go to shady websites. And even if they don't look shady, I get it that they look like Netflix and Disney Plus, but are they Netflix.com? Are they DisneyPlus.com? Like, come on, people, use your brains.
But I mean, it's like if the basic guy, I don't know, they just click on it, they don't know, they're not tech savvy, etc. It's possible, right? These guys really tap into the social.
It's definitely possible. They wouldn't do it if it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly, right? So shady guys.
I mean, we've used phishing campaigns in the past too, like where we've done, hey, ABC company, we've just partnered with Netflix, and now if you want to receive free Netflix, please click this link to sign up. And people have done that.
But now at the end, it's like, these guys are taking advantage of the COVID thing. And apparently Google is claiming to be blocking, check this out, 18 million malicious phishing emails with coronavirus lures every day. Every day. Isn't that crazy? 18 million blocks. I mean, that's a lot. So, I mean, just do the basic numbers, right? There has to be even 1% that accidentally click on something.
And like, I wonder how that works. Like, is that an automated platform that's going through and blocking these things, or is like someone manually reviewing this stuff? You said this is phishing links, like email?
Yeah, they're malicious.
Okay, so it's probably
emails.
Just automatic, but
I'm sure they're using some kind of artificial intelligence platform
something
to comb through it,
It's
detect
Google.
anomalies,
They got
spikes
people
in certain
thinking up
webs.
stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. Sorry.
No, but to go back on it, like another cool thing about this is the providers are said to have cut bandwidth usage to prevent service outages because I don't think they were ready for the spike, right? They hadn't.
Oh, here we come. Yeah, here we go again with the data caps.
And I mean, think about it. Like, again, Disney said that their paid subscriptions had climbed past 50 million and it almost doubled from February. So, I mean, just from a technology standpoint, that's a lot of extra load, right? 25 million extra users streaming high definition data. Yeah, you better
that
have
4K.
Yeah, and 4K, HD 4K. That's a lot. That's a lot of extra data to be pushed out, and hopefully they're just standing up servers left and right because if that crashes, I think we'll all lose our minds.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but I think it was like something like Netflix accounted for 20% of the internet, if not more.
dang, that's a lot.
Yeah, not too long ago. I can't remember what the exact number was, but I tried to Google it real quick and I couldn't. They probably blocked it. No, I'm just kidding. That's what I was going to say earlier, by the way, is that Google is also blocking on YouTube any videos with data related to COVID-19 that doesn't align with the CDC, which I thought was interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, kind of personally, I'm tired of people not listening to science, but whatever. It's just me.
But I guess overall, that is, I think, the more interesting topics in the news this week. I was going to go into some more detailed stuff, but it just gets a little boring, I guess. Let's just keep it fun for today.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, right.
Nobody
I don't want to go start talking about buffer overflow in the middle of all this fun stuff. Unless you really want to. What do you
Buffer what? No,
No, I guess we'll just keep it fun. And, again, if you're out there, zero trust, guys, zero trust model. Don't believe anything in an email. Like, just go to netflix.com and sign up. Don't click on an email. It's so much safer.
I like turtles.
Yeah, that's the problem. You like turtles, so you click on the link that says like free turtles. So
yeah, I don't know. I just think when we tell people this stuff, it just goes right over their head, and there's like, I like turtles.
But that's good.
But
Hey, job security. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Click on your turtles, free turtles. But with that, anything else on your mind that you want to go over?
No, I'm still thinking about all that stuff from last week that we were talking about, the privacy stuff with Google and Apple. But
yeah, I don't think there was any like real updates there.
No, it's not. But I mean, like they're releasing an app, right? And like, who knows what happens there with like data leakage there. It's just another one avenue for hackers to get information.
But you're actually telling me something about that today with Google, right? They already kind of are using that data in their own way. Like you said, you were going to the market, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, it wasn't the market. I mean, let's get the story straight. It was the liquor store.
Okay. More important.
But yeah, I was the other day, I ran out of my favorite whiskey and had to go get some more. So I Googled like the nearest one and it told me that they were busy, which I thought was odd that they had that much information. And I mean, I guess it just goes with the same like traffic, they monitor phones and stuff like that for movement. You heard about the guy in England?
No.
Or somewhere in Europe where he took a red wagon full of like 100 cell phones and he made fake traffic jams.
Oh God.
On Google Maps because he's just walking down the street with like 100 phones in his
at like 1 mile an hour.
So yeah, I mean, I guess it's the same principle. Like if they see that, there's 5 or 6 phones at that store at that time, then they assume that it's busy because it's a small store. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I got there and yes, it was busy. They were only allowing 3 people in at a time. So we all had to stand outside 6 feet apart. That was cool.
I appreciate that at least because it's like you can kind of be prepared to say, hey, if I'm going to go here, let me at least put my gloves on, put a mask on, maybe go at a later time.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's good.
I mean, it definitely made me think like, oh, maybe I'll go to a different store. But when it came down to it, I'm lazy, and I just went to the closest one.
Was your mission a success? How was it there when you actually got there? Was it busy?
It was fine. No, it was. I mean, because they were only allowing 3 people in at a time, that's all. That's why it's so busy, I guess.
So there was people outside waiting?
Yeah, it was like me and 4 other people, so like 7 total.
Oh, okay.
Which
So
on a
not, like,
normal day
super-
would just be fine. Like you'd have all those people in the store, it'd be no big deal. But
That's interesting. But then if those 7 people are still in the store, they'd be in the same proximity still. So how is it distinguishing between busy and not busy? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's like a new line of code they put in, like if users is greater than 5, print busy.
Yeah. Maybe they're still on QBasic.
But yeah, so stay safe out there. We'll keep you up to date with some more news later this week on Friday. Join us, and yeah, we'll keep you up to date. We'll keep you up to date on what's happening with the draft. Netflix, Disney, please do whatever you got to do. Make sure our streaming does not crash because our lives will be ruined. And with that said, Matt, it's been real. It's been nice talking to you as always.
Nice talking to you too, buddy.
Thanks, man. And for everybody out there, send us your ideas, send us your topics. If you want to be a guest on our show, please send us a message. We'd love to speak with you about information security. And any rude remarks, as Matt says, send them to podcast@tevoratalks.com. And stay tuned for our next episode. And have a great rest of your Wednesday. Tevora out.